Details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
We promised it, and I'm telling you, we're going to do investment life advice, maybe a little real estate as well, but this is the one I think everybody was really excited about, the fitness one. So we've gone through the emails, Kyle and I, and joining us now is Whitney Reed. You can follow him on Instagram. It's Whitney Reed 33_fit. He is a 12-time fitness model, and trust me, the avatar that he has, you're like, okay, this guy's legit. And I don't know, we started DMing a long time ago. He's now the executive vice president of BPI Sports, a supplement company. He sent me stuff over the years. I don't know how it started. I think we just started chatting a little bit, and you were cool, and we would go off and on, but it's good to catch up and try this with you here, man. So how are you?
Definitely awesome. Thanks for having me on. And our friendship started back. I remember I was at lunch one day with some guys from work, and you were on air. We were listening to you, and you mentioned something about a pre-workout. I don't remember what brand it was, but you mentioned something, and I DM'd you right away, and I said, hey, dude, I've got some pre-workouts I want to send you. And you hit me back, and I thought it was so cool because, like I'd mentioned before, I've been following you and your career for years, and you hit me back, and you're like, hey, I think I recognize you from a bodybuilding.com video or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because I used to go on there because they actually have really good workout videos.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like there was different stuff whenever you're trying to change it up. So let's do a little bit more background. How big, how enormous and strong were you before you started to go fitness? Because you sent me some videos just to give you a little more credibility.
Oh. Yeah, so a little background. I played some D3 college football. I wasn't an incredible athlete, but I was a decent football player. And after my football career, I got into just training heavy, and I got into powerlifting first. And at one point, I was probably early 20s, 21, 22. I was about 270 pounds, and I was benching over 500 pounds. So that's kind of rare for a fitness model, which, like I'm considered now, but I was a 500-pound bencher. I had a 600-pound squat, and I was deadlifting over 600 pounds at that point.
Yeah. Some of the deadlift numbers when guys will be like, oh, I'm deadlifting this. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, it's like sumo, like all right, cool. Crash, yeah, right. Crash pads. You're like, no, sick rip, man. But no, Whitney sent me a picture of the 500-pound press once, and I was just like, and it was great too because I think you went like all cut up long sleeve sweats.
That's
too. It. Yeah, so it wasn't like stringer tee, but there was a little customization on these massive drapes on you, and then you're just throwing around all these plates. All right, so. Let's get into it. Lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. If this goes well and he enjoys it, we'll do it again. So here we go. All right, first one. This one spoke to me as a young kid. Some background, guys. 21-year-old college student, 6'3", would call myself a decent but not great-looking guy. Worst part about my body is how skinny I am, only weighing at 130 pounds. Super thin. Yep. Especially when considering my height. Putting on weight has been a problem for me as long as I can remember. I'm sure some people are hearing this saying, I'd love to have that problem. Maybe they're right. And by the way, for the skinny people out there, if you make fun of somebody overweight, there's just not enough skinny people awareness rights. I feel like everyone's allowed to call skinny people skinny all the time, and then they're not supposed to be able to fight back about it. So I agree with the emailer here. I'm definitely more happy with being super skinny, but super overweight. But truth be told, I'm sick of being this skinny and just want to bulk up. My guess is the first thing people think of when they meet me is, wow, that guy's super skinny. I'd like to shake that label. I'd like to help me feel better about myself after recently going through a tough breakup. Now feels like a great time for me to improve myself and my body. I'm looking for any piece of advice you guys have on bulking up. I'm going to cut through this. I've always eaten a good amount of food. These past week, I've more concerted effort to eat more than usual, protein shakes, on and on and on. Definitely feel like it's helping out. All right, so here we go. Really skinny guy, 130, wants to bulk up. Let's keep this one PED free. So what do you say?
Well, first off, he's actually in a great position, and you're right. A lot of people don't focus on, the demographic of guys going to the gym that are skinny and they can't put on weight. Everybody's, going to the gym talking about trying to lose weight or whatever it is, but there are a lot of people out there that have a really difficult time putting on muscle mass and gaining weight. They have super high metabolisms, and they don't know where to start, right? So with anyone in that position, like I said, they're starting a great spot because if you put on just a little bit of muscle, a couple of pounds of muscle is going to look awesome on someone that's starting off, 130, 140 pounds. So you will see some quick gains at the beginning. And the really the only way to focus on putting on quality muscle and quality size is to increase the calorie consumptions, but from all good whole foods. Don't go the route of the Big Macs and the fast food route. Definitely take in a lot of whole foods, increase your calories, and in the gym, focus on the three main lifts: the bench, the squat, and the deadlift. That's what's going to put on the muscle mass. Don't spend hours in the gym. Your sessions should only be like 30 minutes or so. Because if you're in the gym and you're focusing on all the the other exercises, the tricep pushdowns, the curls, and all, you're burning calories. Get into the gym, focus on those core lifts, and eat a ton of food. You're gonna put on weight.
And space it out, 5 meals. They don't have to be massive meals, but like you're going to have to really commit to some real planning, right?
Absolutely. You're gonna need 5 to 6 meals during the day. I would recommend 2 of those come from shakes because it's a whole lot easier to digest and it's a lot easier to get your calories in if you're drinking as opposed to eating. For example, and I actually have a pretty good free meal plan. And this, I'm not trying to sell anything.
No, do it.
On my,
no.
On my website, on Whitney Reed Fitness, WhitneyReedFit.com, you can look it up. And I have a bench press routine and I have a meal plan associated with this bench press routine. And this is all free. I like to give away all of my information. I do not sell any fitness advice because when I first got into this, into the gym and training, I had a lot of good people in my life that helped guide me, and I want to do the same for others. But with the meal plan, my suggestion would be in the morning, a cup of oats mixed with some types of fruit, your egg whites. Skip a couple hours, have a shake. Another couple hours, have your lunch, chicken breast, plain white baked potato. A couple hours later, have another shake, come back with some red meat and some vegetables at night, and then in the night with, a half a dozen egg whites.
Yeah, right. The great thing about this, though, and we'll get to the next one, when you're that skinny, but you start to see results, it's the best feeling ever. And you're actually, anyone that's been lifting a long time, the greatest time to lift is in the beginning because that's when you start putting it on. And you're just young, too. Another thing, dude, 21, I don't know what your family looks like, but some people don't fill out. I mean, I didn't really fill out until I was like 26, 27. It was crazy. So, don't get too frustrated. All right. Next one. Hey guys, huge fan of the show. 6 foot, 165, lifting consistently since high school, 26 now. But I've always wondered what kinds of proteins and supplements others lifters use. Which ones do you prefer? I've been using Cell Tech and Muscle Tech creatine. But I don't know what the most effective one is. So instead of making it a brand thing, because then people just think you're, right. What do you actually think works? Because dudes are out there spending a ton of money. And I would argue a lot of times, it's kind of cool and maybe it motivates you, but I don't know that you're always getting results.
No, there's a lot of hype behind supplement companies and a lot of marketing that's selling products that don't necessarily work. So when you look at the supplement world, creatine monohydrate is the most known supplement, and it is by far the most studied supplement on the market. And it works. If you're taking 5 to 10 grams of creatine a day, you will get stronger and you will get bigger, and your in overall performance will increase. So for me, I like to stick to a creatine if I'm trying to put on some muscle mass or some size, an isolate protein, and an amino acid for recovery. If you stick to those basic products, you will get results.
Okay, there you go. What do you think about that new pea protein? The vegetable stuff, Wahlberg's on.
Yeah, I actually make a pea protein now. I mean, with all of the with the increased focus on plant-based diets, it's very popular. I don't particularly like the taste of the pea protein. I think it tastes like kind of like dirt, but it's definitely popular right now.
All right, we got a former Army Ranger checking in, 38, 6 feet tall, 178. When he was in the Army, he said he never weighed more than 155. He throws some ridiculous stats here. I'm going to share them with you. For my career, I could max out the point scale in the Army's physical fitness test, which was push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. My 5-mile run time was between 36, 37 minutes. I could do a 12-mile course with a 100-pound combat load in less than 2.5 hours. I left the Army in 2012, was able to maintain my fitness at the gym 5-6 days a week. Fast forward to 2014, Army He's been out of it for 2 years. He's working 50, 60 hours a week, 4 or 5 nights a week, studying on weekends for his MBA. So look, this guy has an incredible foundation, an incredible work ethic, but now he's been out of it and wants to get back to it. The thing I didn't understand quite about the email was just like, what do you want to get back to that? Because I don't know that either of us are qualified.
That guy's way more qualified than I am to speak on that. I couldn't do any of those things. I mean, first off, he's an Army Ranger, so he's a badass. I mean, I think he's ahead of us.
Yeah. Why are you emailing us?
But if his question was to focus on how to make time to, I guess, just get back into the gym in general, it's simple. You just have to prioritize. And I know that sounds like so basic, but that's all it is. I mean, for me, when my son was first born, my life, completely changed, and I couldn't spend 2 hours in the gym anymore after work. So I just had to adjust, and I had to get up a little bit earlier. I built out the garage gym at home. If you don't have, a gym in your complex or your house or whatever, add some, even if it's dumbbells, have something at the house that you can use. And that's kind of how you make time to make it work.
The band stuff is incredible. And I know a lot of people are on it, especially with the last year, but I ordered a bunch of stuff to be able to home. And I don't have a workout that doesn't have them. And I used to laugh at it, not laugh, but I was just like, whatever, it's stupid. Honestly, getting it as I get, older and older and trying to avoid every single injury, starting with bands for 10 minutes has been a huge positive for me on all the workouts, because I'm activating all the muscles. I'm getting warm, but I'm not too strenuous, or I shouldn't say it's not so strenuous that then I'm not getting, good results on the rest of the workout.
Yeah, definitely. And it keeps that constant tension, whatever motion you're doing. So like in your fully extended state where you're typically, that's your strong point right here, it's going to add more tension. Whereas like if you're just holding dumbbells, you wouldn't feel it. So.
Okay, another one here from Brian. It says, hi, I'm 45, 6'2", almost 230, pretty active, but a podcaster. Should I go for 405 pounds for my bench press max?
I know this guy. Yes, you should. You should train extremely heavy.
All right, but it did also, there's another line. It says, if I've never really gotten north of 350, is now the wrong time to try something like this in my life?
No, definitely not. I mean, if that's a goal, I mean, whatever it is, go for it. I mean, you're in great shape. You train regularly.
Seems like an incredibly stupid goal.
No, it's not though. It's not at all. I mean, especially, if it's something that if you take pride in your bench press and you've never done it, that's an awesome feat if you hit 4 plates on each side. So I'm serious. Take a look at my website and try that bench press routine. That's the routine that I used in my early 20s to get to 500 pounds.
I don't know, Brian. Good luck. Let's just cut through the bullshit here too. Let's talk about steroids.
Yep.
Because, we had an emailer chime in here where he basically was like, and I think this part of it's kind of bullshit, is like some of the celebrities, and it's, look, I'm not on anyone's case for getting their body to where they need to get it for a movie. When I think that there's athletes that have a version of whatever their approach is to get themselves right. So I'm certainly not advocating for it all, but I do get frustrated for like younger people that see look at Hollywood's latest 60-day transformation. And any one of us that have been around guys that have used, you're like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, you didn't just decide to go egg whites and crunches all day. Like, you're on something. And all right, fine. Like, you want to roll, you want to be, cast as something that you weren't before, or like, hey, look at me, I'm working out at 4 a.m. and I'm working around at 8. And it's like, dude, okay, you're not getting a little help. So what's realistic? Like, what do you understand about that world that probably most of us don't?
Well, I would first start by saying this. I don't have a problem with anyone that does use, some type of testosterone replacement or growth hormone therapy, something like that. I don't see any issue with it. And I think that there are a lot of people on those type of products, a lot more people that anyone would realize. I mean, there are a lot of people that I know that take testosterone replacement therapy that don't even go to the gym, and you wouldn't even know that they train. And then you hear that they're taking this stuff, and it's kind of shocking. So I think it's a whole lot more prevalent than we believe, or we think, or we know. I think there are a lot of athletes that dabble in that, and I know there's a lot of people in Hollywood. But like, you're right, it is very misleading that you see a Hollywood star get a 6-pack, go on the cover of some like tabloid magazine and say, I tried this fad diet and that's how I got this six pack. That's total BS, right? But to get to that point, and if that's going to, benefit their career, I see no problem with them using it.
Yeah, see, I have no problem with them using it to further their career. I mean, that's the world that they chose to be in, and it's a lot like sports in that sense. Like, how can I be better at what I do? I also think there'll be times 10, 20 years from now, we'll look back at the stigma of some of the testosterone treatment where you're like, wait, why did anybody really have, again, in moderation?
Yep.
But I also don't want to be insensitive to anyone listening to this feeling like, hey, these are two meatheads that are saying they're pro all this stuff, because we're not. I just think it's incredibly frustrating for young people to see some Instagram posts of somebody famous being like, look at my body 60 days later, when you're like, well, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. You didn't just find the routine. You're full of shit.
Yeah, and they should be called out on that. That's total bullshit. I hate that.
By the way, what's going on with these Instagram deadlift girls in the yoga pants? Because I'm hearing there's a lot of it's not just deadlifts and stretching, and I think that blows some dudes' minds too. Which is, you know what, like, it's fair game. Like, I'm all for it. But when I'll talk to some guys about like someone here at a gym in LA, and they're like, oh my god, she's on all sorts of shit. And be like, okay, dude, so that's how she's turned into J-Lo last week.
Well, I'm a hater, so I'm gonna dude, I'm such a hater. Like, so I'm gonna call them out, and 70% of it's either injections or implants or PED help for sure. There are a lot of girls that there are a lot of girls that take hormone replacement therapy.
Yes, I can. I think it's important to keep this fair. All right, here we go. We got a guy checking in, lives in the South. He's medical sales. He's basically asking for this is good. Okay, yeah, he wants to be kind of like in the trainer world that you're in, and you're not a self promoter at all, which is one of the reasons I like you. But I also understand you kind of have to be a self promoter to live in this world. If you were 10 years younger, you'd probably be doing it all the time too. So I can't really knock anybody that's hustling enough to get their stuff out there. So our guy, he wants to ask about this. Okay. I took the time from COVID where I was working from home and had an extra 1 to 2 hours per day, and I used to become a certified personal trainer. Now that I have the certification, I've created a second Instagram account to try promoting myself as a trainer and maybe get some clients through that medium. I've only posted on this account 5 times since my announcement post that I got certified to be a trainer back in September. My problem is I still feel weird posting workout videos or pictures of myself because I keep thinking people don't want to see that. My question for advice, 2-parter. How do you get over the feeling of weirdness of taking videos and pictures of yourself at the gym working out? 2, are there other online mediums you'd recommend to put yourself, or at least himself, out there more? Right now, he says, look, I just got 2 clients, making a little extra cash. I've also spoken with a local gym owner, and he said he would refer clients to me if he thinks there might be an opportunity for a good fit. However, that was 3 months ago, and I haven't heard anything since. Please keep in mind, I don't plan on training becoming my primary source of income anytime soon, as I do well in my engineering job, love that work as well, have a wife, a newborn son to take care of. I don't want to quit this engineering job, but I do want to start making enough as a trainer that my wife can quit her job in the next 1 to 2 years to stay at home with our kids. So there you go. This is right up your alley.
Yeah, definitely. And, I admire someone like that that's got a great job and is looking to, expand and do something different and get into the training. And it is an awesome way to build a nice side business. And there are a lot of people that are very successful as personal trainers. Now, the one point as far as when will you get over the weird feeling of self-promoting, I don't know, unless you're like super narcissist. I don't know if you ever get over that feeling. I still feel weird, and I've posed for so many different magazines, and any time that I take a picture with my shirt off, I'm super uncomfortable. So I still feel that way. So I don't know if you ever fully get over that, but you have to figure out exactly what it is that's bothering you. Is it the fact that you feel like you're self-promoting and you don't want to talk about yourself that way? Or is it the fear of what other people think of you? And if it's the fear of what others are thinking of you, F them, do what you have to do to build your business. I do think that Instagram is the best way to build a personal training business. And I think it's a great time to focus on that, because there are so many people that are training at home, aren't going to the gyms, they're not meeting trainers in person, and you need to focus on the digital aspect of training. So my wife does a lot of online training. She has a lot of clients, and in order to build that following, you do have to post regularly 3-4 times a day on Instagram to show why you're different or what what you know that others don't, and why people would sign up for your program.
That last part's the most important part, because it's the same thing. Like, you're either in or you're not, and it's so
Right.
competitive now in social media for anyone in fitness. You can't just sort of be interested in it and then be surprised that you're not getting results. It's an all or nothing thing.
One thing I do want to add to that, if you're not on TikTok, and I know that that's so weird, like TikTok still creeps me out because I feel like it's a bunch of young kids, but it is transitioning. It is, but it's transitioning to something totally different. And if you're looking for free organic traffic, TikTok, there's no place other than TikTok to get that.
All right. Good tip there. Okay. This is a little gym corner one. I like lighten this up a bit. Been going to the gym a few years now. Our man's in Sweden, apparently. So I don't know what the gyms are like over there. Although I've seen some fitness posts from Sweden that would make me want to sign up for a 10-day membership. I have around 5 regulars at the gym. Oh, yeah. He goes, all right. He goes, this has been bothering me from the start. What the fuck is the deal with active resting? I have around 5 regulars at my gym that do this every time. I mean, I get why they are doing it, but do you really have to walk around the entire fucking gym staring at other people with a judgy look, then go back to your machine, do another set, then do the same fucking walk again? It's so damn annoying, and it really pisses me off. For the love of God, just walk your fucking 5 meters back and forth. I love that he goes meters here like a normal person. Shake your muscles, stare down at the floor or the mirror. And he just swears away that he's past my, I don't want to overdo my threshold of swearing. You got to use them productively. So he wants to know what's going on with active resting.
All right. Well, I love the question. I love his approach. Active resting is a real thing. So if you're into like interval training and you're doing, let's say a 3-to-1 split on your sprint. So let's say that you sprint all out for 10 seconds. And then you do an active rest, which would be a walk for 30 seconds. I think that's a very effective way to burn body fat, and it's a very effective way to get your cardio done in a shorter amount of time. I don't personally believe in doing hours on the treadmill or something like that. So that is an awesome way to get in shape. Now, the stare down portion, I don't know. I mean, I just think there's a bunch of weird people in the gym to begin with. I mean, we all know the old man that hangs out in the locker room naked, and, people that do weird exercises on machines that they're not supposed to be doing it. So, there are just weird people in the gym, and we were talking about that yesterday. There's some strange people in the fitness world, so I don't know how to respond to that.
I remember once I had this thing that I decided to do where I was going to sprint the 10th of a mile on a treadmill in between every set, and I must have looked like the biggest loser at the gym that day, but I just was in this mood where I go, I want to just absolutely vomit when I'm done with this deal today. And it was a workout, but it was just stupid. Like, all right, this guy's, he just did dumbbells and now he's like sprinting back. Now I wasn't sprinting back to the treadmill, but I was, quick walk over. All right. Okay. We got another one. Our guys, saying, look, I'd done some lifting back when I was in my 20s. It went terribly as I just got fat reading, listening to forum bros or magazines telling me to try to put on a pound a week by eating everything under the sun. Real quick aside, is it true that cheat meals are actually good for you, that your body likes that bad fat once a week?
Yes. I don't know if there's a specific, day or 7-day, 10-day, whatever it is, but it's definitely good to increase your calories, every 7, 10, 2 weeks, something like that. There's definitely something behind that. It's going to help boost your metabolism. And beyond all of that, whether it works or not, there's nothing wrong with having some foods that you want every once in a while. I mean, I think it's more of like just a great for mental clarity and just so you don't like snap at someone to have that cheat meal. There's nothing wrong with that.
And the best is if you have a cheat meal, you can have a pepperoni pizza on your lap in a bed next to your Swedish girlfriend who's an 11, and then you can post that on Instagram. and you can think people like it because of you. So that's something to think about with cheat meals. But the metabolism, the science has been argued, and it convinced me to just get a little rowdy once a week, but that it's shocking your system. So your body is not in too much of a routine with everything being clean all the time, that it's forcing your body to kind of burn stuff in a different way that actually is a good thing. It's like resetting and confusing the body a little bit.
Definitely.
That's at least how I was convinced of it.
If you're in a calorie deficit mode, always trying to lose weight, your metabolism is going to slow down. You're going to actually hurt yourself. So you do need to increase the calories every once in a while.
Okay, that was great news to everybody listening. All right, so back to our guy here. Wanted to add a pound a week, eating everything under the sun. I figured with quarantine and the inability to do jujitsu here, so we got a jujitsu guy on our hands. He would try to put on some clean weight. Since then, I've put on 15 pounds, fairly clean, little fluff. I'm currently 6'4", 210, looking to add maybe another 5 or so pounds before I get back to training. Again, jiu-jitsu. My question is, how little does one have to work out to maintain size and weight? As I head back to doing jiu-jitsu 2-3 times a week, my lifting frequency is going to have to be reduced to fit real time plus the fitness. So what can I do to maintain weight? So basically, it sounds like the math on this is, look, he's going to be far more active burning calories doing any of the jiu-jitsu stuff than he would be in a gym. Mm-hmm. So if he wants to be at 210 and 215, this is complicated. I think this one's a little bit more complicated because what he's trying to do is kind of go in opposite directions from what he's actually going to be trying to pull off.
Very tough to do both at once. It's actually, it's the same thing with being, in the calorie deficit. If you're constantly burning calories, training jujitsu, which is going to burn a lot more calories than when you're just in the gym, you're going to have a tough time maintaining that. You're going to have to eat more food, and that's really all it is. And it's not. There's no magic. There's no secret. You just have to get more calories in.
I always thought the easiest thing, especially for younger guys, maybe not have that much money. Like, and I used to do this because I was almost by choice because of the money restrictions, but I would make bulk food. I would make a tub of chicken salad with barely any mayo on it. I would do these things. These things are really easy to make. And when it's there and you throw a wrap and a couple pieces of lettuce and Parmesan cheese crumbled up on it, and it's like, okay, like I ate. I don't need to eat for a couple hours. So if you're broke, want to add weight, and you think it's all these supplements, it's really, dude, cook a bunch of chicken, get those microwave rice packs that are super easy to make. It takes 90 seconds. They're cheap. You throw the cooked rice, throw some cold chicken over the top of it, throw whatever kind of dressing you want. Even the barbecue sauce, you could talk sugar and calories and all that kind of stuff. But if you're doing that a couple times a day on top of what you're normally doing, you are going to add weight. It is that simple, but it's just so hard to maintain that routine. Like, I lived with a guy that was doing shows, and he was waking up at 4 a.m. to make eggs and bacon, and then he went back to bed and then woke up at like 6, So I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but it is always funny when a guy's like, well, I want to get bigger. I was like, okay, what are you doing?
You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
And to touch on what you're saying as far as prepping the food in advance, and I still do this to this day. I don't use red meat like I used to, but I'll take a bunch of ground beef, put it in a pot. It's so easy. Even if you don't know how to cook, you can make this. Throw it in a huge pot, let it cook, put some seasoning in it. Those little Hidden Valley ranch packs that you used to make like salad dressing with. Put some ranch dressing in that, mix it up. It tastes awesome. And you've got like 5 pounds of ground beef to eat on for the next couple of days. And then you don't have to worry about it. It's just like you said, it's plug and play. It's really easy.
This was terrific, man. Unfortunately, Whitney shared with me a card that may be missing right now is worth way more than I ever thought it was. So he put me in a devastatingly bad mood for about a day. Still not sure I'm going to find this basketball rookie card. So, well, I had to find out at some point, and maybe I still have it, but I think it's missing forever as he has his Jordan collection behind him. Look, Whitney, you're terrific, man. Thanks a lot for doing this. Thanks for taking the time for the listeners, and let's do it again at some point. All right.
This is awesome. I'd love to. Thanks, man.
Again, that's Whitney Reed 33_fit. And then again, the website, so people can check out that free information.
Yep. WhitneyReedFit.com. I've got free bench press routine, free diet plan. It's all there for you.
Awesome. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. A little different today. We'll be back on the NBA run. Bill and I doing Sunday, change the schedule for this week, but we're back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week. So 3 full ones for you, a couple good guests lined up. So please subscribe and spread the word. Thanks again.